So, you want to build an AI agent? Of course you do. It's one of the biggest opportunities for startups right now. But here's the thing. How do you get from a cool demo to a product people can actually rely on? Well, that's what we're here for. We're going to break down the official playbook from Google and give you a super clear roadmap. Let's dive in. And this quote, it really nails it. We're not just talking about fancier chatbots anymore. No way. Imagine telling an AI, hey, launch this new product, and it just does it. It figures out all the steps and gets it done. This isn't just a small step forward. It's a total game changer for productivity. Right, so that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Anyone can whip up a prototype that looks cool, but making it work reliably in the real world, that's tough. How do you stop them from going off the rails? How do you make them trustworthy? That's exactly what we're going to unpack. Okay, so first things first. Before we can build one, we have to know what an agent is actually made of. Let's pop the hood and see what makes these things tick. I love this analogy. The easiest way to think about an agent is like it's a tiny, super efficient team. You've got 4 key players. First, there's the model. That's the brains of the operation. Then you have the tools. Those are the hands, the things that actually do stuff. Orchestration is your project manager, keeping everything on track. And finally, you have grounding, which is the team's dedicated fact checker, making sure everything is legit. Okay, let's talk about the brain, the model. Here's a pro tip for startups. Bigger is not always better. It's a classic mistake to just grab the most powerful, most expensive model you can find. That thing can be slow and burn through your cash. The smart play, pick the right tool for the job. Find the most efficient model that gets it done. Your burn rate and your users will thank you for it. All right, so if the model is the brain, the tools are what give the agent its hands. Without tools, an agent can think all day long, but it can't do anything. With tools, suddenly it can query a database, it can call an external API, it can even use another agent. This is the crucial link between thinking and actually getting stuff done in the real world. Now, for the project manager, orchestration, this is the executive function, the part that keeps the whole operation running smoothly. It's the logic that lets an agent tackle a big, complicated goal by breaking it down into smaller steps. It's constantly asking, okay, which tool do I need to use now? And what do I do with the result? That, in a nutshell, is orchestration. So how does this orchestration actually work? Well, the main playbook everyone's using is a framework called React. It's short for reason plus action, and it's a super powerful, surprisingly simple loop. Here's how it goes. First, the agent reasons about the goal. Then it acts by picking and using a tool. It observes what happened, and then it takes that new info and loops right back to the beginning to reason again. Reason, act, observe, over and over until the job is done. Okay, this next question is probably the most important one for anyone trying to build a real product. It's the thing that keeps builders up at night. If you've got this powerful agent that can think and act for itself, how in the world do you stop it from just making things up? Hallucinating. How do we make sure we can actually trust what it says? The answer is a concept called grounding. And the number one technique to achieve this is something called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG for short. And honestly, the name pretty much tells you everything you need to know. Before the agent generates a response, its knowledge is augmented by retrieving facts from a trusted source of truth, like your company's internal wiki or database. And that is the key takeaway here, folks. RAG is what makes your agent believable. It's the firewall between an agent just guessing versus an agent actually knowing. It tethers the agent to verifiable, real-time data, which is non-negotiable for any serious application. All right, so now we know the anatomy of an agent. The logical next step is, how do you actually build one? Well, Google lays out 2 very different paths you can take, especially if you're a startup. So you've got 2 main choices. Path number 1 is the code-first approach, using what's called the Agent Development Kit, or ADK. This is for when you need maximum control. It's perfect for developers building a truly custom, defensible product. Path number 2 is the complete opposite, the no-code route with Google Agent Space. This is all about speed. It lets your non-technical folks jump in and start automating workflows without writing a single line of code. So why should a startup care about this choice? It's all about strategy. If you go with the ADK, the code-first route, you're building a real competitive moat. You're connecting the agent to your secret sauce, your proprietary data and APIs. But if you go with Agent Space, the no-code option, you're buying yourself speed and freeing up your most valuable resource, your engineers.
You can automate tons of stuff across your business without pulling your dev team off the core product.
Okay, we've covered the what and the how. Now for the final and frankly the hardest part, actually getting from that flashy demo to a rock-solid product that your users can depend on day in and day out. This is where you have to get serious.
This line it says it all, doesn't it? Hacking together a prototype is fun, it's easy. But making something that's ready for production, something that can scale and be reliable, that is hard. That's a real engineering challenge.
So, what's the solution? It's a new discipline called Agent Ops. Think about it this way. DevOps brought discipline to software development. MLOps did the same for machine learning. Well, Agent Ops is the professional framework for the age of agents. It's how you build, test, and manage them reliably.
And this quote from Harrison Chase at LangChain hits the nail on the head. Agents have incredible potential, right? But they aren't magic. Their success, their reliability, their safety, it all comes down to the guardrails and the systems we build around them. That's what Agent Ops is all about.
So a huge piece of Agent Ops is evaluation. And it's not just one thing. You can't just test the agent. You have to think in layers. First, you test at the component level. Think of these as unit tests for your tools. Then you look at the trajectory. Is the agent's step-by-step reasoning process actually logical? Next, you evaluate the final outcome. Is the answer high quality and factually correct? And finally, there's the system-level test. How is it performing live, in the wild, with real users?
Now, that sounds like a lot, I know, but to make it way easier to get started, Google has put together something called the Agent Starter Pack. You can basically think of it as Agent Ops in a box. It gives you pre-configured templates for your infrastructure, your CI/CD pipelines, your logging, and your evaluation. It handles all the plumbing so you can focus on what makes your agent special.
Okay, let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. If you remember nothing else, remember these 4 things. 1. Ground your agent in facts, using RAG. Trust is everything. 2. Use orchestration with something like the React loop to automate really complex workflows. 3. Choose your path strategically. Do you need the deep control of the code-first ADK or the lightning speed of no-code agent space? And 4. Adopt Agent Ops. Treat this like a real engineering discipline to build a product that lasts. And make no mistake, this is not some far-off futuristic idea. As Sundar Pichai points out here, the momentum is already huge. The ecosystem is blowing up right now. I mean, just look at this number. Over 1 million downloads of the ADK in less than 4 months. This isn't a trend that's coming. It's a wave that is already crashing on the shore. The window of opportunity for startups is wide open. So, that brings us to the final and I think most exciting question. The tools are here, the playbook is clear, the ecosystem is ready. Your next game-changing team member, the one that multiplies your productivity, might not be a person at all. It might just be an agent. So the only question left is, what are you going to build first?